Welcome.
Actually, today I'm going to do the reading for the book Clouders, Mary Pop Beyond the Clouds. I'm going to keep the reading of the chapter 3, and I hope you enjoy this reading. Uh, I am without my equipment, so I have to keep the reading. So, continuing, at break time, we had our conversation. It was a little more intense than I had imagined, and embarrassing too. We were sitting at a table, eating and talking. I think you were hiding something from me, Marcos. I'm not hiding anything from you, Mayor. Stop the paranoia. Look, in these months since you arrived at school, we studied together, we did group work at some colleague's house, we went to the movies a few times, we had lunch and had dinner at my house about 3 times. We walk hand in hand, and for all intents and purposes, we are dating. But actually, I don't know anything about you. He looked at me in some dismay, for he had no arguments against it. And now, to make matters worse, you had these 2 episodes of sudden absence. He made a face like he still did not believe. Do not make that face, Marcus. You saw the footage I made. It was very strange. Okay, Meire, what do you want to know? There was irritation in his eyes, something I've never seen, for he always had that calm expression. I asked, well, first of all, I would really like to know what your parents do since you say that they live commuting on work. My father is a diplomat. He's currently in our embassy in Uruguay, working in the area of foreign trade. My mother was originally a college professor, but she is licensed to accompany my father. Okay, I was puzzled. It was not that complicated. I don't know why you never told me. I didn't think it mattered so much to share such a thing with you. Is that why you don't want me to come to your house? I think so. It's always empty. There's only one maid and a driver there. I was a little sad for him, but put my hand on his face and he kissed it lightly. Do you agree to see a doctor to see this absence? He looked at me with annoyance and tenderness. He did not want to give in and acknowledge that there might be a problem with him. All right, Mayor, but I assure you there's nothing wrong with me. Thanks. We ended the break more calmly, but a strange feeling had remained. After all that conversation, although he finally shared more intimate information about his life, the description of his family life only served me to lose interest in visiting him at home. Something told me that was the intention from the beginning. For a little while I considered breaking up with him because to me it seemed to me that he was not taking me seriously. And what bothered me the most was that he did not even seem to care about that possibility. Later, when I got home, I did some housework. They were as much must for me as a therapy. Help me at home was Helping at home was one of my duties my parents imposed on me early on to create responsibility. As for me, I also saw it as a kind of relax because I could empty my head of thoughts and doubts, just focus it on the task. After finishing the chores, I had the best ideas in my mind. I turned on the computer and started researching for diseases that can cause sudden absence in people, as if the person were disconnected from the world from a few moments. There were many explanations. Most disturbing was a type of epilepsy in which the patient, instead of having seizures, as in the most common type, has absence of consciousness. I was afraid to be that. In another search results, it had a reference to the film Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher, and in it, the character had sudden absence during his teens, and when he became adult, he discovered that he could transfer his adult conscience to the past in his empty conscience when he was young. A very crazy journey, and that in each journey something was modified in the past, changing also the present, in ways more and more unexpected. It all ends up well, but the character goes to the crazy hospital too. At that moment, the corner of the computer screen showed that there was a new message for me through the blog. I went to my administrator account and clicked on the message box. It said, "You will not find the solution to your friend's problem on the internet. You should continue to feed your blog with movie reviews that speak of the revolution." Again, I was scared by the choice of my mysterious interlocutor. Was I being watched by some computer hacker who could tell everything I was doing on my computer? It would be a much better explanation of the events on my blog since Marcos came into my life. But that did not explain the voice in my head or my dreams, much less indicated some connection with the problem with Marcos, if there was any problem. I decided to face the situation and ask. I clicked on the message. "Who are you anyway?" Now it was to wait for an answer. While I was assessing the blog, I decided to feed the headlines about the future releases in the cinema. I researched and saw that the release of the film Divergent was planned for the end of the year. I watched some clips, interviews, and comments behind the scenes. It was another movie with young people in a post apocalyptic future fighting against an oppressive system. The central figure was once again a girl, as in Hunger Games, and the film was also based on a bestseller book written by a woman. It was recurring at that time films based on this type of books of fiction and fantasy, written by women and with female figures as central characters. This was also the case with the Twilight Saga, the Harry Potter series. The Harry Potter series had also been written by a woman, and although the character was male, the little magician was in fact totally dependent on his friend Hermione Granger, much smarter and more determined than he, although he was more powerful. Perhaps it was the spirit of the moments when women were becoming more and more empowered. It made sense. There are many more women than men in the world. We study more, read more, know how to focus on several things at once. The world, the world was still dominated by men, but there were becoming more and more dependent on us women. At school, there were more girls than boys. Our grades were always better. In teamwork, the leadership always fell on us, and without us, the boys always seemed half lost. The exception in this matter was Marcus, who was always more confident in what he was talking about and how to solve the issues. It could not be just his age. He was only a few months older than most of us. Maybe it was the experience in many other schools, maybe even other countries, since his father was a diplomat. Why doesn't he share these things with me? I thought to myself. Or could it be something else? My breviaries, as I read and searched, were closed with the warning of the new message that had arrived. Just what I was waiting for. I opened. I don't think you are ready to understand the answer yet, my dear Mayor, but you will understand everything very clearly. At the moment, just one piece of advice: there's nothing wrong with being divergent. And that was our reading for today. Keep listening to this reading of the book Clouders and buy it. It's available on the Amazon. Till next time, bye bye.